got the matchup they want on offense. So they've got a lot of great shooters and a lot of great offensive prowess and experience as well. You can see it on your screen. Harvard, of course, averaging about 10 points more a game than Rhode Island is. So I think that Harvard probably has the edge, of course, coming in here today. You can see that just based on their records and how they've played at the start of this season. But again, there's no reason for Harvard to take this team for granted. URI could easily show up on defense, and then all of a sudden, it's a very close game.
And Katie, one of your recipes for an upset for this Rhode Island Rams team today, it's all starting around the basket.
Yeah, you got to dominate the paint for one if you're Rhode Island. I mentioned that they're a good offensive rebounding team. You have got to be the best you've been all season on the offensive board if you want to win today. And then get quality over quantity shots. It's pretty much as simple as that. Make sure you're not just chucking the ball up, you're actually getting great looks. And use your bigs. Again, dominate the paint. That always involves using your bigs.
And on the other side for Harvard, they are giving up some size in this battle, but the shooting is going to be a factor as well.
Yeah, and they've got to rebound the ball a little better. They're not a bad rebounding team. Do not get me wrong. They're still averaging about 35 rebounds a game, but you got to be really good at boxing out against a team like this. Also, you've got to force turnovers. Right now, they've got a great turnover margin, but you've got to make sure URI is upset and not getting stuck and getting really into their offensive game. And then again, execution on offense. If you dominate your offensive game, you're going to win if you're Harvard.
Something Harvard's looking to get back to. They were averaging over 70 points per game for the bulk of the first month of November, but then that back-to-back in New York, games against Stony Brook and St. John's held to 60 points or below. Here is Sophia Vital running things early on. Honey Carr, the first touch for Rhode Island. Look at the starting five out there for the Rams and head coach Tammy Reese. Vital inside to Carr, going to work in the post against Elena Rodriguez. The hook shot is good.
Exactly what I was just talking about. You want to get it to Carr. She's our player to launch for a reason. She also makes great plays like that in the paint. That's what URI is going to need to do.
Early pressure up the floor from Vital. Here's the Harvard starting five. Rodriguez, Turner, Glenn, Anderson, and Khatira. Turner, step back three. Too strong. Long rebound, and Khatira chases it down. Rodriguez gets an early look at the post. Turns to face onto Tot, who's an excellent defender. Rodriguez off the bounce. With the left hand. Comes up short. And two Rams collide for the rebound. Carr takes it down.
Don't get the score there, but I like the aggressiveness of attacking the paint. That's kind of URI's bread and butter. I'd love to see Harvard continue to do that.
And URI looking to go inside early. Vital, Carr calling for it. Gives it up to Phillips. Best shooter from the outside for the Rams, double teamed. Around it comes to Vital, under 10 on the shot clock. Quick crossover dribble. Vital stuck inside. Scoop shot and good. Vital looked like she had nowhere to go and found a little bit of daylight for the bucket.
Yeah, great play by Vital. Only standing at 5'5", shortest player on the court right now, and yet still driving inside the paint, going to the left side, finding Harvard's weaknesses on defense inside.
Rodriguez again, hands off. Khatira, baseline, picks up the dribble, surrounded by Kamara there, looking for an outlet, throws it into open space. Phillips comes up with a steal. Harvard back quickly in transition. Phillips will give it up. Here is Vital. Awa Kamara. For Anel Dutat. Carr calling for the ball. Lobs it inside. Turner missed the pick. Out to Dutat. Corner three. Short. And Glenn there to collect the rebound for the Crimson. Two missed shots and a turnover so far for Harvard. Again, this is the longest stretch of rest that they've had all season. Quick pick and pop. Back in the hands of Turner. Matched up with Kamara. Tries to turn the corner. Pass snuffed out of midair by Dutat. Nearly given away in the backcourt. Numbers up ahead for the Rams. Vital wants to push. Turner back quickly to shut down the drive. Off the screen. Carr has that long jab step. Inside Kamara. Double team comes and a travel is called. Turner just put her hand in the cookie jar there and caused the shuffle of the feet.
Yeah, look, great play there by Harvard, but URI has been the better team in these early few minutes. I mean, URI's forced turnovers. They've played great on the offensive end as well. I mean, there's not a lot that URI has done wrong in these first 3 minutes, and I think that you're going to see a game plan probably pretty similar to how Quinnipiac played Harvard. That's Harvard's one loss on the season, so of course, if you lose to any team, others are going to come in and try to emulate what Quinnipiac could do.
Tammy Rice said she wanted her team to just come out and compete. They have done that here the first few possessions on defense, forcing two early turnovers. Again, you wonder how much that week off, is there a little bit of rust right now in Harvard's game? They were playing so well through the entire month of November. Here's Turner slipping to the rim and will get herself to the free throw line. That could always be a sort of charger to get you going offensively.
Well, I was going to say, if you're going to go to anybody when you're struggling just a little bit, even if it's only the first few minutes, of course it's got to be Harmony Turner. And Turner's also probably the last person you want at the line. She's shooting over 80% this year, so, and she, let's be honest, she goes to the line a lot. She gets fouled. She is absolutely one of those players, loves to drive inside. I think one part of her game, that's really progressed, though, is her outside shooting. She's now getting more looks on the outside because of how good and talented of a player she is when she drives inside.
On pace to shoot and hit more threes than she has since her freshman season. Turner over 80% from the line. Early sub for Rhode Island, Ayanna Franks. The Connecticut native comes in to replace Kamara, who had that foul on Turner. And Harvard with a chance to set up the press for the first time.
Well, and if you think about it, if you're Turner, you're now in your senior year. People have seen you. You're not brand new to the league. And a lot of teams know how to play you, so you have to adapt to what other teams are giving you. Harmony Turner sure has done that.
Harvard continues to extend pressure after the out-of-bounds play. Vital able to break it with the dribble. Gets a double screen. Dutat swings. Franks thought about the three. Now attacks Anderson with a dribble. Franks muscling in, draws the double. Now to Carr. Back to Vital, 5 to shoot. Around the screen, Vital drives, kicks. Franks has to fire and knocks down the three.
That is a huge confidence booster for URI because three-point shooting has probably been the hardest part of their offense this entire season. They're only shooting about 26% right now from three. So if you're Harvard, you want to give up those shots rather than something in the middle, but good on URI to make sure it counted.
Travel called against Glenn. That's a third turnover here in the first quarter by Harvard.
Surprising from a team who only averages about 13 a game. A little over that.
And a team that has dominated the turnover battle in just about every game they've played.
Almost +8 right now.
Carly White, Elena Rocco first off the bench for the Crimson. And Crimson showing pressure up the floor. Dutat gets it across, floats it to Phillips. And Vital catches near the Crimson logo to reset. Phillips off the catch. Vital looking for help. Dutat to get it. Now 5 to shoot again. Vital wants a ball screen. Got to happen in a hurry. It's a three. It's short. Offensive rebound. Dutat lost it underneath the hoop. Would have been blocked from behind. Anderson on the move. Crossover. Anderson drives. Scoop with the left hand is off. Vital did a good job just ushering her to the side that time. Anderson got lost off the screen. Vital, Carr from the elbow, off the back iron. Dutat again chases down the offensive rebound. Got it right back. And Turner nearly came up with a steal.
Well, again, remember that a big, giant piece of URI's offense is being able to rebound the ball. They're not the greatest shooting team from really anywhere on the floor, and they are aware of that. They know how important offensive rebounding is. You're going to see it there. They maintain the ball, they keep the ball, even though they miss that shot.
So far, just getting more shot opportunities has been a key to their success.
Yeah.
Carr inside again, lowers the shoulder, traveled on the catch. Turnover against the Rams. That'll get us to a timeout. URI holding Harvard scoreless from the field. The only 2 points for the Crimson coming from Turner at the line. And the Rams locking up the Crimson defensively early on.
20-win seasons and one of the most consistent mid-major teams in all of women's college basketball. How does that happen? An assistant who's really good at recruiting internationally. Adni Amadou, Tammy Reese gave him a ton of credit for the job he's done going over, particularly to France, where he is from and where his parents still live. Tammy Reese said when she got this job, not a lot of Americans would return their phone calls, so they tapped into that international recruiting pipeline. In her second season, 6 French players on this roster, and Rhode Island's never looked back.
Thank you very much, Joel, and that connection continues as Gabby Anderson fires up a three from the corner and knocks it down. First field goal make for Harvard today. And to finish Joel's point, Katie, those international players that come in not just have a great deal of experience, be it with their club teams, but a lot of them also have experience with their national programs.
And sometimes that can really, really add to who you are as a player. And then, of course, it adds to your team culture as well. Because when you have so many players coming from that same, really just same national team, I mean, all of these players that Joel was just talking about, all from France. Now you can see it on your screen there. This is all from the last 2 years. And then you can see their associate head coach at the bottom of that list.
How about that for Harmony Turner? And one, roster full of teams from France alone, and that doesn't include other international players on this Rhode Island team, like Carr, who's from India, or Akia Eklof from Finland. So lots of different international recruits coming to Rhode Island as Turner trying to get herself going with an and one opportunity here.
And this is the type of play that Turner just seems to always find a way to make the basket. And it's mind-blowing sometimes to watch her. She'll just throw the ball up, and it's seemingly just always goes in. And, of course, that has a lot to do with her teammates making sure she's getting an open look and an open pass. Anderson's bucket, too, by the way, coming right out of that break. Also another really set up well play, and a play that was executed on offense the way that Harvard wanted to, instead of just going for whatever URI gave them.
Feels like that media timeout helped Carrie Moore kind of right the ship offensively for the Crimson. Frank's straightaway three won't go. Harvard had missed its first 3 shots, 2 for their last 2. Now Turner looking to go to work on the drive, the scoop and score.
Harmony Turner is pumped up after that one. That's really her bread and butter. She loves to go into the basket. She will take any matchup. And right now, of course, Carr on the bench as well. So URI's big and by far tallest player not in. You might as well attack the paint when you can.
Right now we've got a discrepancy on the scoreboard and the stats. Anderson's bucket on the floor, I believe, was called a 3. They've got it right now listed as a 2. That's why it's 9-7. Nice roll to the rim. Kumara can't finish. Rebound tipped around out to the corner. Last off of Carly White. So it'll stay with Rhode Island.
Well, look, we kind of expected a little bit of a slow start for Harvard. Of course, they've now really gotten their legs right back under them. But all season, they were playing back-to-backs. They were playing a few games within a few days. It was a lot of very close matchups in terms of the days apart. And so when you all of a sudden have a week off, and you've got some time where you're just practicing, that can sometimes throw off your rhythm for a little bit. I would not expect a team like Harvard to take even a quarter to get their legs back under them here. Obviously, we've seen that through this media timeout.
Well, having Turner going certainly helps. She rips down the rebound off the missed shot by Franks. Turner has 7, URI has 7. Crimson have a 2-point lead. Quick trigger 3, in and out. A little bit of a heat check there from Turner.
Yeah, she missed that one, but do not leave her open in that scenario. You got to make sure if you're URI, you immediately track down Turner, especially when she's coming up the floor with the ball.
Katie led an open player up the floor, missed the bucket. White comes in backdoor for the rebound. She's off and running. Across to Turner. Quick drive. Flips it out. Rodriguez finds a wide open Abigail Wright. Count it, and the foul. Extra pass and one chance for Abigail Wright.
That was just absolutely fantastic movement there from Wright. Wright, one of those players, kind of an unsung hero. She plays quite a bit, but doesn't always get the stat recognition she deserves. I mean, she does just a great job of moving her defender, making sure she's in an open position. Of course, she got the pass, honestly, just where she wanted it. And then she gets the basket in the N1. That could not have been a more perfectly set up play for Harvard.
Missed the free throw. Rebound tipped around, but eventually corralled by Carr. Quick drive by Phillips. Draws the foul on Wright. And Sophie Phillips will have free throws on the other end. First foul on Wright. We talked to Coach Carrie Moore earlier in the week. She said, Wright absolutely is an impact player coming off the bench, but right now fouling is her Achilles heel.
Yeah, it's the only thing I think that is keeping her from being just a spectacular player. She's got to be careful about how she's using her body and when she's using her body. Because there's been a couple of games, especially the past few games with Stony Brook and St. John's, where Carrie was telling us she threw an elbow up when she didn't need to, and she just wasn't as aware of herself as she needs to be. So I think when she gets that and fouling under control, she will be just a spark on this side.
To your point, played just 4 minutes against the Red Storm, committed 3 fouls in that time. Here's Phillips. 1 of 2 at the line for the seniors. Set a Rhode Island record 83 made 3-pointers a year ago, off to a slow start from behind the line this year at just 22%. White able to escape the pressure in the backcourt for the moment. It's the media timeout. Harvard on a 10-1 run. They fumble it away here. Vital can't save it on the sideline. So a little bit of a break there for the Crimson, who will keep it with 13 on the shot clock.
Yeah, you were talking about Sophie Phillips. She's one of those players that she needs to be going for this team to really do well. She is their shooter, their primary shooter. She is the person who can shoot anywhere on the floor. And when she's not having a great start to the season, it becomes really tough for Rhode Island because you have to rely again on the rebounding, the defense, the things that are great, that you should be good at, but you always need to be able to score. It's basketball. It's pretty much as simple as it is.
Phillips comes up with a steal there. We got a whistle away from the ball. Abigail Wright with the foul, doing battle with Carr in the low post. So 2 Harvard fouls, both on Wright. And that's going to leave Carrie Moore to call back on Gabby Anderson. They see 45 and 25 off this great 9-1 start for Harvard. 2 years ago, getting all the way to the WNIT Great 8. They beat Rhode Island in the 3rd round to get there. For losing to Columbia, there is Phillips from downtown.
Exactly what you need her to start doing. She's a really great three-point shooter. It's just been a slow start to the year. She's got 184 career three-pointers made, and she could be so much higher even at this point. But I think that it's just about confidence, getting yourself back to where you want to be.
The foul inside. This will be on Phillips. Send Carly White to the line. 14th foul on Rhode Island in the first quarter. Quick 3-minute break for Harmony Turner. She's back out there for the Crimson. So far, it's been a game of mini runs. 7-2 to start for URI. A 10-0 counter for the Crimson, and now 4 straight for the Rams. White, a sophomore from Burbank, California, was considered one of the top 20 recruits by The Athletic. Started the early part of last season and then missed a couple games, eventually turned into a valuable bench role, and has picked up her scoring early on to start this year. Carr double teamed inside, blocked by Mona Zaric. Battle for the loose ball. It squirts away to Turner. 3-on-3 the other way. Turner against Vital. Step back. 3 on the way. Rattles it home.
That's such a perfect example of turning defense into offense, and great plays starting on one side. And then, of course, you find your scorer, you find Turner, and everything seems to work out just fine.
Air ball from Carr off the toe of Glenn and out of bounds. Harmony Turner locked in early on. 3 of 5 from the floor. That three-pointer, her first, also 3 of 3 at the line. Offensive foul on the inbounds. That's going to be the 15th foul. It's on Carr.
Gonna get a good look here at Turner's last shot. She's so aware of where she is on the floor, and then look at that, immediately high fives. The people sitting courtside, I'm sure they appreciated that.
Well, they came to see the Harmony Turner show, and she's trying to give the fans what they were looking for here in the first quarter. Out of a 3.5-second difference between the shot clock and game clock, Turner, shake and bake, fake. Now Glenn attacks Carr with a block. Chance here. Final seconds. Vital across midcourt. Pull up 3. Too strong off the backboard, and that's how the first quarter will come to an end. Harmony Turner almost single-handedly doing it by herself. She's got 10 of the 16 Crimson points, and Harvard leads it by 5 at the end of 1. It is Harvard 16, Rhode Island 11. We'll be back with the second quarter next here on ESPN. Have the most field goal attempts of any player in the nation, second most steals, top 15 in scoring average. And these are just a handful of the categories she's among the nation's leaders in. You look at about 10, 15 different stat categories. Turner ranks just about in the top 100 in every single one of them.
I was going to say, if you look at the game notes, it's line after line after line of where Harmony Turner leads nationally or is ranked nationally. And she is just, again, it kind of exemplifies who she is as a player. Like, she's got over 20 points a game, and yet she's not just a shooter. Sometimes there are just players who, that is their identity. They are a shooter. That is who they are. Harmony Turner is not that she can do anything on the floor that she wants to.
The difference, it feels like, Katie, is those who have followed the Ivy League the past few years and knew how good Harmony Turner was. Now it feels like the nation is really starting to know how good Harmony Turner is. She's had those spotlight moments. You go back a few weeks, Boston College here at Levites Pavilion. She scores a program record 41 points on 7 of 11 from 3. Last week against St. John's, that game winner at the buzzer. Those are the kind of moments that sometimes can elevate a player's profile.
Well, and it's honestly really nice to see her getting her flowers nationally, because this is not, a player who in the Ivy League she was being recognized, but not nationally, as you said, and now she's finally getting those flowers. That's well deserved.
Nice elevation by Glenn on the lefty layup. Largest lead for either team today. Harvard by 7 early in the second. There's Dutat. Phillips has one of the 2 URI threes. Dutal again will launch from deep. Too strong. Rebound tipped around. And Kumar is going to win the battle inside. Extra chance. Phillips from the wing. Too strong again. Offensive rebound again. This time it's Inez DeBrois. Got it back.
Harvard giving a lot of space to Vital. They're letting her shoot. Has not made a ton yet.
Shot
there.
Rejected this time. Vital got the first step around Khatira, but Glenn was there waiting for her.
Yeah, when you're only 5'5", it's really hard to drive into the basket, because right now Harvard's got quite a bit of height on the floor. And if you're Vital, you're getting open looks at the 3, but Harvard really defensively is not letting any player for URI drive into the basket.
Katie Ledden back on the floor, hounded here by Turner. Ledden attacks baseline, runs into a double team. Vital again, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. The 3 from DeBras won't count. Couple extra opportunities on the possession for URI, but in the end, it amounts to a turnover.
Well, look, this is a pretty inexperienced team compared to a lot of the other teams, especially Harvard. Harvard only lost 1 single player in this offseason, so they've got a lot of returning experience. URI kind of has the opposite. And so they've got a lot to learn still. Shot clock violations are, of course, something you never want.
Turner fires, comes up short on the 3. Vital looking to race ahead. Numbers for the Rams. Kick out Ledden. Good deflection there by Anderson. Jamie Reese saying we're still a young team, a group that's still sort of figuring out where everyone's roles are on the floor. And obviously you have a huge building block coming over from San Diego in Carr, but she's new to everybody. Vital directing traffic. DeBras thought about the shot, decided against. Back to Vital. Off the ball screen. Step back from 18 feet. That's good. Second bucket for Vital. Local product from Chelsea, Mass. Played at Tabor Academy. Rhode Island back within 5.
If you're Vital, they're giving you shots. If Harvard's defense is letting you shoot, why not shoot?
Oh, nice duck by Khatira. Just slipped right around Carr for the layup. First bucket for the first year from Greece. DeBras fakes one way, goes the other. Vital gives to Carr at the elbow. DeBras open on the wing. Carr can't find her. May have taken a shot up high. We got a whistle and a 3-second violation on Dutat. That's going to be turnover number 6 against the Rams. Oh, we have a moment. Let's check in with our sideline reporter, Joel Gadet.
Ben, talking on turnovers in this second quarter, 2 of them for URI, both of them dead ball turnovers, though. And at the quarter break, Tammy Reese told her team, we have to stop turning it over because it's free offense. 8 first quarter points for Harvard. Almost half their scoring came off turnovers.
That is something that the Crimson have thrived on all year long. Pick and pop for Anderson. Back in the hands of Turner. They double. Turner. Quick crossover, the spin, can't elevate, has to kick it across. Rodriguez with time running down, gets to the rim and scores.
It's just a fabulous play for Harvard because Harmony Turner gets doubled. They're playing good defense on her, but Harmony knows very well that if she's got at least 2 players in her vicinity, someone's going to be open. Rodriguez does a great job just getting under the basket and making the layup count.
About 28 seconds, a great defense for the Rams. Problem was the last 2, as Rodriguez got a free lane eventually to the rim. Now a deflection from Rodriguez. Ayana Franks coming back in. Going to roll the dice with 2 fouls for Franks.
That's the time that you can shoot them. Are they guarding you?
Quick little give and go. Vital out of the corner. Tried to slip it back into Kumara, loose on the floor. Rodriguez wins the scrum. Glenn up ahead. Khatira knifing inside. Turner gathers. Wants Khatira to clear out. Runs the pick and roll with Rodriguez. Pull up free throw line. Why not?
She's not going to miss that.
Timeout, Sammy Reese with that last bucket. Harmony Turner has hit 1,600 points for her college career, rapidly climbing the Harvard all-time list. We'll take the timeout as well. Crimson in front, 24-13 over Rhode Island here on ESPN.
But of course, particularly offense if you're Harvard. And I found it very interesting when we talked to Tammy Reese, she specifically said she really likes playing Harvard every year because they simulate what a lot of teams in their conference do, and so it's a really good practice. And she said Harvard is an extremely smart team, and it's become a good rivalry. Pretty much good games every single year. It's really why she, as a head coach, likes to watch this team.
There's a steal by Turner, looking to get off to the races, bumped in by Vital. Turner still with the dribble, a couple quick crossovers. Now sets up the offense. Carrie Moore said basically the same thing. Look, they're a good program, they're close, and they're willing to play us. Backdoor cut, and Anderson not able to thread the needle to White. Shot clock will reset to 20. Honeycar back on for the Rams. Elena Rodriguez comes back off a quick breather for Harvard.
Well, and things change a lot when Honeycar is on the floor because if you're Harvard, you cannot drive inside the paint quite as much. She's a big presence inside. She also does a great job marking players like Rodriguez, who she's up against right now. So you look for more so the outside shot, either a long 2 or a 3 if you can, because Carr inside makes it tough.
Pick and pop. Rodriguez a 3. Air ball. And it's going to go just out of bounds. Last touch by White. Could bring that ball back into the court. And Harvard will take the opportunity to set up the press. Inbound comes to Carr. Trying to hand it off, but good ball denial by White there on Vital. Now White comes to double. Carr took an extra step. So another turnover forced by the Harvard defense, but that one a direct result of ball denial from Carly White, not allowing Vital to get it. 1, 2, 3, there you go.
And the referee standing right to our right in front of her, so pretty clear shot.
Turner off the catch. Pull up from just inside the arc, wide left. Rebound snatched up by Khatira. Turner fakes the 3, jab step, launches, rattles out. Long run for the rebound. This time it's White who comes down with it. Couple offensive rebounds on the possession for the Crimson.
Oh, it's great to see because URI has been doing a great job on the boards on the offensive end, and they do well on the defensive end as well. But if you're Harvard, you want to continue to get offensive boards.
Turner off the screen. The hezzy and the right hand.
Yeah, Harmony Turner, sometimes she just does what she wants and she'll get it. She can do and move any way she wants to.
Changes gears about as well as any player you will see. Yeah. Phillips loses it on the baseline. That's turnover number 10 in the first half of the Rams.
Look, and that number's got to get lower for URI. You cannot be giving Harvard opportunities that you could so easily be turning into offensive production yourself. And URI actually not a team that necessarily turns the ball over that much per game. This is much higher than their average, only about 14 a game on the season so far. And again, if you're not also making shots, you cannot be turning the ball over this much.
Both teams used to winning the turnover battle, but it's been Harvard who's had that edge significantly today. Offensive rebound, Anderson back into the hands of Glenn. Hard screen from Anderson. Glenn's runner with the left hand won't go. Rebound out of bounds by White. Anderson picked off, I think it was Vital there, almost took her to the ground with that heavy screen.
Talking about turnovers, too. 14 of Harvard's 26 points have been off of turnovers. That's a way too high of a number. If you think about it, if you get rid of those 14, URI's winning this game.
Total difference maker. Rams trying to execute again in the half court. DeBras back up top. Vital works with the screen. 16-footer is short. Offensive rebound. Kumara into the corner. Quick trigger. Phillips, that's good. Second three of the day for Sophie Phillips. Much needed for URI. Almost a 4.5 minute gap between field goals for the Rams, and now they switch it up into a zone.
Not really surprised they're doing it. They want to give Harvard different looks. Going to be on man-to-man quite a bit in this game, I imagine. They'll switch to zone quite a few times as well.
Three-pointer on the way. That's good for Elena Rocco. The first year from Pittsburgh. Answers right back for Harvard.
Rocco right now with the best three-point percentage on the Harvard roster as well. She's 40% coming into today. Great to see her make a shot. Same thing for Phillips as well, just get your confidence up.
Rocco hit some big shots in Harvard's upset at number 25 Indiana earlier this year. Dutot rolling to the rim, won't get the bucket, but will get the foul. Free throws coming up here for the Rams.
Well, look, right now, if you're URI, Harvard wants you to shoot outside. They want you to shoot long twos. They want you to shoot threes because that is not your forte. So if you're Dutot there, you're trying to go inside because you know as a team, your identity in your core is not to shoot these long shots. And so, great play by Dutot. She ends up getting fouled, ends up on the free throw line. By the way, URI didn't even shoot a single free throw in their game last week. Now this is good for them. They need to shoot some free throws, and you get free throws by driving inside the paint.
And it's been a problem for them all year. 0-3 when shooting below 60% from the line. They're just over that mark on the season as a team. And a 1 of 2 trip there for Dutot. Rebound for Turner, who's right back out there. White looking for Wright. Got it to her in the corner. Has to go back up top. Trying to find Anderson inside, and White travels.
Looks like Harvard trying to find Rocco again in the left corner, just not able to get it to her.
Feels like both teams going through spells where there's crispness and then there's some sloppiness.
Yeah, Harvard, to get back into the lead, they did a really great job of executing their game plan and their plays. You could just tell that by, again, that crispness and how perfect every pass was and how perfect every shot was, to be honest, as well. And they've kind of gotten away from that here. Want to make sure that if you're Harvard, you get that under control quickly.
Turner deflected it. She knew that entry pass was coming for Kumar and almost was able to snatch it down out of midair. Turner, in addition to all the wonderful things she does offensively, also averages a couple steals a game. Best in the Ivy League. Top 15 nationally in average. Nice bank shot there by DeBras. Part of that French connection, the junior won a gold medal at the FIBA World Championships with Team France in 2023. 10-point game as the Rams go back to the zone here. Cross-court pass, Turner. Switches it up to Rocco. Tries to unbalance the zone. Turner on the curl, fakes. Tough off-balance shot off the back iron. And then Turner reaches in the backcourt. I think she's mad at herself missing that shot.
See her more often not making shots like that, even when you are off kilter. One she wants back.
Tammy Reese said part of keeping Turner in check, throwing different defenses at her, making her attack both different matchups, player against player and against the zone. So that's what they're throwing her way here at the end of the first half. Phillips double team. Dutot the outlet. Around it comes DeBras from the wing. Short on the three. White has the rebounds. And Vital picks her off in the backcourt. Vital hands it off. DeBras steps through a double team. One too many steps.
That's just so unfortunate there. You can see the look on DeBras' face. It was such a great play. I mean, wonderful execution by Vital in the middle. She just takes that ball right away from Harvard and makes a great pass as well that could have been an assist, and just one too many.
Down to the final minute of the first half. The Roz almost got that one in the backcourt. Turner to the corner. Rocco inside right. Muscling in on Dutat. Shot blocked. Right got it back. Missed the second one. And the rebound out of bounds. It will go Rhode Island's way. Couple decent looks underneath for the sophomore, but Wright unable to convert. One more change coming up here. Carrie Moore going defense or offense. Gabby Anderson comes back, replacing Monazaric. Elena Rodriguez will come back on as well for the final 40 seconds. Turner will shadow Vital all the way up the floor. Give to Dutat, and a reach-in foul going to be called on Glenn here. That is the third team foul on the Crimson.
You're Harvard here. You want to make sure that you're not giving URI the paint. That is the last thing you want to do. That's where they are at their best. So as you've been doing most of the second quarter, make sure that you're giving URI the long two or the three. If they make it, great. That's just them making a good shot.
Vital wants to go inside. Carr being double teamed. Anderson playing safety in the paint right now. Vital launches from deep and hits. Big triple there by Sophie Vital. Final 10 seconds. Rams have cut it back to a 7-point game. Turner wants the screen. Gets it. Turner into the double team. Turner floats and doesn't get the bounce. She had Anderson wide open in the corner, but wanted to take the final shot herself. Joel, what did the Rams have to say?
Katie, you took the words right out of Tammy Reese's mouth. I said if you would have shot 30% in the first half, turned it over 11 times and only been down 7, what would you say? And she'd say, I think you were insane. We should be down 16 or 17. But Harvard hasn't played ultimately with the highest of octane either, so the opportunity is there. When it comes to shooting, 4 of 10 from 3 in the first half. Sophie Phillips was 2 for 3. Really happy with some of the shots taken. 8 and 12 seconds on the shot clock. Let it fly if Harvard's giving it to you, just maybe not on the first pass.
Well, and not an ideal start for the first possession of the third quarter as the Rams turn it over. That is number 12 for URI. Harvard averages 21, 22 takeaways a game. UTS Katira, Turner, Rodriguez. Again, running that two-player game. Rodriguez almost runs into Turner. Now gets it back. Under 10 to shoot. Cross-court pass. Glenn fakes the 3. Has to attack. Lost it. Out to the corner. Katira got to put it up and did not get it away in time.
Great defense by URI there. Harvard also just looking a little discombobulated. They didn't have the spacing I would have liked to see on the offensive end. Turner also, by the way, very stationary on that play. I would love to see her with a little bit more movement. Clearly that play not set up for her, but just based on how much attention she garners, we just showed it on a clip coming out of that halftime. I want to see her moving around a little more.
Goes back to Joel's conversation with Carrie Moore after halftime. Nice step through by Dutat. Her first bucket of the day. Coach Moore talked about executing better on both ends of the floor.
Also mentioned Vital as well. Vital has had a lot of shots open. Harvard's giving her shots. Great one made there. But Vital cannot do as much as she is with the ball right now. She's kind of been the X factor for URI to start this first half.
Corner 3 from Sanaya Glenn. Turner with a skip pass to beat the zone that time. Rams switching defenses again early here in the second half. 32-24, the Harvard lead. Vital. Turner swiping at the ball. Vital, nice stop and start. Keeps the dribble, slips it to Kumara. Able to create the angle for the bank shot. First bucket of the day for Awa Kumara.
When you can tell that Vital was a conversation at halftime for the Harvard bench because she was double teamed there, and that's when she passed the ball off, and it's why Kumara gets a little bit more of an open shot there.
Turner, good look from the corner. Too strong on the 3. Doubling Vital arguably plays into her game. She's one of the top assisters in the A10. Phillips, the bounce pass, looking for Kumara, goes out of bounds. Turner goes off towards the locker room. Trying to chase that ball down, and we'll make her way back out here. Still almost a full shot clock here for the Rams, as Vital slowly makes her way over.
A little miscommunication there, I wasn't sure who was inbounding it.
Right to Phillips for another three. 10-point day for Sophie Phillips. 3 threes for the sharpshooter from Greenwich, New York.
Oh, and that's so huge for Phillips. She needed those points.
Rodriguez, floater, middle of the lane is good.
I say she needed those points. I really more so mean for her own confidence. We mentioned her shooting slump. She's not been shooting great, especially from three. That's her forte. So great to see her here. Got a few threes early in this one.
Vital using her speed to break the pressure there in the backcourt. Turner almost picked it off. Vital hesitates, drives, hands it off. Loose ball inside. And it's going to be a tie up here, as Anderson ends up perched on top of it. Rams back within 5, closest they've been since the first quarter.
Well, you got to think, too, the game plan for Harvard on defense has got to change a little bit going into the second half, because you saw in the first, Harvard was giving away a lot of three-pointers, long twos. They were pretty much letting URI shoot because they're not the greatest shooting team. URI ended up making Harvard pay in quite a few of those scenarios. So now I would imagine on defense for Harvard, you're going to see a lot more pressure outside, especially a little closer to that three-point line. You don't want them to just shoot empty threes.
Nice crossover by Glenn. Kicks to the corner. Extra. Turner. 3. Splash.
Oh, and a no-look pass down in the corner, too, by Rodriguez. That was just an amazing play. And here comes Turner again.
Poked it free. Drew the tie-up. Possession arrow gives it back to Rhode Island. More pressure in the backcourt from Turner. Dutat helps Vital get it across. Hard drive. Phillips runs into a double team. Katira off the Rodriguez block. Now Harvard looking to run. Rodriguez looking for help. Now just pulls up mid-block and scores.
That's going to feel good for Rodriguez. You pretty much pull off a textbook block, just standing straight up, arms up, everything pretty much perfect. And then you go down and you're given a little extra space. You can easily pull up for the 2.
Here comes the double team on Vital. Got it away. Phillips able to rescue it. Works off a double screen. Now Kumara back in the hands of Vital. Already down under 15 on the shot clock, though.
This is defense I was talking about as well.
Vital looking for somebody. Not finding anybody. Turner denies the step back. Carr lost it. Got it. Phillips not going to get the shot away in time. Second turnover forced by the Harvard defense here in the third quarter.
When you can see how much that pressure disrupts URI's offense. In the first half, they were given a lot more space right outside the three-point line or even on the three-point line. Now Harvard pressing out, a lot further, and URI really had to just make a play out of it, and it's not one that ends up being successful. But again, Harvard defense does a great job forcing that play that time.
And they have really frustrated Honey Carr today.
Yes.
Rhode Island's only double-digit scorer held to just 2 points so far. Rocco hands to Rodriguez. Turner comes. Wanted the backdoor pass, wasn't available. Rocco to Turner. Guarded by Dutat. The drive, the flip, it's good. Harmony Turner, 19 points. He has now climbed into 5th all-time on the Harvard scoring list. Anna Franks tries to turn the corner, runs into Rodriguez. Kumara stripped by Turner. She's off to the races. Turner one-on-one, inside-out dribble, through the contact, no. Wanted the foul, didn't get it. Three-pointer on the way, that won't go. Offensive rebound to Carr. off the screen. Inez DeBraz back to Carr. 8 to shoot. Franks, no room there. Tough floater on the move, won't go. Rebound tipped out of bounds. And it's going to go Harvard's way. That'll get us to a timeout. 3:55 to go here in the third. Rhode Island got as close as 5. The Crimson have stretched it back out to 12. And Harvard in control here at home, looking to go to 10-1 on the year. Harmony Turner, top 5 all time on the Harvard scoring list. And the Crimson up by a dozen. Moving into number 5 all time on the list.
Yeah, and we were talking about it a little bit pregame. She comes into the games with 1,588 points. You and I both talked about it. We would not be surprised if she moved into that third place spot before her season's over.
Well, the question is, can she get to 2,000? She's averaging just over 20 points per game. And if you give Harvard 20 games left in the year, which would obviously have to include some postseason games,
I think she'd be able to do it.
the race could be on for Turner to try to get to 2,000. Nice fast break layup there by Franks. The Rams switch back to the zone and get a turnover and a bucket out of the timeout.
Which, by the way, 2,000 points would be a remarkable number that very few college players hit in their career at any level. So that would be a just extreme success for Turner.
She has been a lights out scorer from day one. Taking it to another level this year. Rocco tries a 3. High rebound, swatted down by Wright. We're going to get a foul on Abigail Wright, taking out the arm of Awakumara. So that's 3 fouls on Wright, again, in fairly limited minutes.
Yeah, only
First foul either way in this third quarter.
3:30. That's how much time she's played so far.
Again, pressure in the backcourt from Turner. No Vital on the floor right now, so DeBraz the ball handler and travels. Again, the pressure from Turner forces the turnover. That's number 16.
That's just way too high of a number. I mean, the number speaks for itself there. Some stats don't always do that, but 16 turnovers is just not going to win you a game.
Rams again in the zone. Turner beats it with a dribble, throws it up at the rim. Knew she was getting the whistle there and just decided to go for broke.
As you should. She's going to get a high five there from her head coach. Good players do that. You feel the pressure and you throw the ball up because you know you're going to get a couple free throws. Felt it right there. You can see it right on your screen. And she put it up right at the perfect moment.
That was on Kumara, her second. First of the quarter on the Rams. First miss from the line for Turner. And while we have a moment, let's check in with our sideline reporter, Joel Gadet.
Ben, not only is Harmony Turner the leading scorer, she's also the leader on the bench. In that last timeout, she sat down, and while Carrie Moore was talking with her coaches, it was Turner that was leading the conversation with the team. And she said, first and foremost, hey, they're trapping Gabby and I. This is where we need the second line so you can help yourself out against pressure.
Well, more pressure forces another Harvard takeaway. Anderson comes up with a steal. Turner directing traffic on the floor as well. Gives to Wright up top. Wright moves it over to the right side. Carly White hesitates, now drives, spins, fades, and doesn't get the roll. Rebound eventually collected by Carr. That's her 8th. Hard screen from Kumara, took out White. Missed layup on the other end. Kumara the offensive rebound. Back out to Franks. Here's DeBraz working off the Carr screen. Stop and start, poked away by White. Lobbed up ahead. Turner ahead of the pack, cruises in, missed the layup.
Well,
you won't see that every day.
Yeah, she looked behind her. She saw Carr coming.
Double deflection out of bounds off Harvard.
Shockingly, just not make the layup. That is, as you mentioned, something you basically never see from Harmony Turner.
Glenn, Elena Rodriguez back onto the floor for the Crimson. Harvard maintaining the double-digit lead here to the late stages of the third. Looking for revenge from the loss a year ago. Quick inbound to Franks through the traffic, lost it on the way up. Glenn comes down with a loose ball. Franks comes up clutching her midsection. Turner inside out dribble to the corner. Rocco for three. Short. Rebound tipped right. Trying to muscle it out of there. It's going to be a tie up and Harvard ball. Phillips will come back onto the floor. Franks will get a much needed breather after taking that shot to the gut.
Well, look, if you can find one thing that's positive for URI right now is that their defense has been playing pretty well. The fact that Harvard only have 42 right now is low by their standards, as we talked about right at the tip. About 71 is their average, and so they're well below that with only about a quarter left.
Turner finds Rodriguez rolling to the rim for two. They've worked on that a time or two.
I was going to say, that one clearly been rehearsed before. And then once again, it's Turner to Rodriguez.
Diagonal pass, corner three. Got it! Sophie Phillips has found the stroke today.
And once again, huge for Sophie Phillips. She needs that. Her team needs that. She is their primary scorer. She's finally getting some threes under her belt.
In the middle, Rodriguez face up on Carr. Attacks. Picks up the dribble out to right. Turner wants it. Glances back at the shot clock. Has 10 to work. Rodriguez to set the screen. Turner can't turn. Turner running out of time. Has to launch. Doesn't catch any iron. Good defense there by Vital. Forced Turner into a prayer at the buzzer there. Rams can get it back under 10 on this possession.
Come get it! Go! One shot!
Love to see Turner in that situation to take that shot a little early. When she feels the pressure coming from two, you might as well get the shot up and then hope it hits the rim and you get an offensive board.
Vital off the screen, running out of time. Vital not going to be able to get it away. Oh, they're going to get a foul here. A foul on Turner in the final seconds. So they're going to stick a couple tenths of a second back on here. Turner is in disbelief at the whistle.
Yet
She thought it was solid defense staying in front of Vital. And I think they're just going to go to the
foul
monitor
called
here
at the end of the period is under the review for the time.
to have a look to see how much time they need to put on the clock.
Sorry about that, Ben. She, I believe, said she thought she got all ball, which is why she was so frustrated by that. Because when you make a great play, right at the very end, you're going to see it here. I mean, there's a little body contact there.
Take a look at the official's arm, and that's just before the horn. Joe Vasili making the call. So it's only the second team foul. It's only the second on Turner. So foul on the floor. It's not a shooting situation here. It's just a matter of how much time they're going to put back on the clock. And for Rhode Island, it's basically a
Game
situation
clock
where they're
will
going
be
to have
reset
to.
to 1.1
give it
Rhode
to
Island
shoot.
ball on the sideline.
You got to think, too, if you're URI, you find Sophie Phillips. She's had the hot hand. She's also obviously been their best shooter by far today from behind the arc. So if you're URI, that's who I'd be going to.
So they do put a whole second back on 1.1 is what goes back on the clock. So you might have a chance to throw a ball fake. Dutat to inbound from in front of the bench. Lobs back door. Turner picks it off. And in the end, the foul does no harm, and Turner gets to add a steal to her stat line.
It's like an Odell Beckham in the end zone type steal.
Snatching it down one-handed. It is a 10-point lead. The Rams defense keeping the Crimson at bay, but URI and Sophie Phillips looking for the offensive burst. Harvard by 10 here from Cambridge.
When the team finds itself in tough situations, they know they're prepared for it. Saying against Stony Brook, hey, we've been down 4 with 4 minutes to go before. We have the ability, and we know we have the ability to come on back when we're up against it.
And so many metrics tell you this Harvard team already marking itself as one of the best in the nation, and all that hard work in November, that busy schedule, including a 10-day stretch where they played 5 games before and after Thanksgiving, all leading up to all those metrics that Joel just talked about. Phillips trying to save the possession, almost walked with it. Carr doesn't get the shot away in time. That's a shot clock violation. That's the third or fourth one the Crimson have forced today.
And Tammy Reese looks over at Carr and just points to the clock, and she's saying, you've got to be aware of the clock. Those are the type of mistakes that really hurt you in games like this, where you're down by 10. 10 is not a huge margin when you're against a team like Harvard. And so those really hurt you, and those are so frustrating because those are things that you can avoid.
Katira, the driving kick, has to be saved by Glenn out near midcourt into the hands of Turner. Inside Rodriguez, turns, shoots, misses. Rebound tipped away to Phillips. You talked about beforehand, both teams play such good defense, might be a race to 60. Looking like that very much here in the fourth quarter, might not even get there. Vital on the kick out, tries a three, comes up with air. Saved by Dutat, but right to the wrong person. Turner coming the other way. Turner, inside out dribble, puts on the brakes, gives to Rodriguez. Off to Turner, quick trigger three, too strong. Carr there to collect. Near double-digit rebounding day for Honey Carr. Phillips beat everybody up the floor, wide open, got another.
Well, look at that. All of a sudden, it's not even 10 anymore. It's 7. 7 is they called it a 2. They're going to review it. But, I mean, still, even if it's 8, that is such a closer game than we thought we'd have here in this fourth quarter. And big props to URI.
Rodriguez has it stripped away by Carr out of bounds. Rams got as close as 5 early part of the third. And then Harvard's defense went into lockdown mode again. And they got another mini run from Turner to push the lead back up to double digits.
Well, and look, the identity of this team and the culture that they're still, I think, implementing and learning through these other young players and even the transfer players like Honey Carr is that defense and rebounding are the most important thing to start with, but you've got to have offense. Right now, their defense is really keeping them in this game.
Rodriguez fakes the three, missed the runner inside. Loose ball on the floor, picked up by Ledden. Glenn providing pressure in the backcourt. Now Vital. Works off a couple Kumara screens. Phillips the hot hand. Turner wants her defensively. Phillips switches to the left. Had the shot, didn't take it. Carr going to try a deep three and hit! Honey Carr, welcome aboard. She had been absent offensively for pretty much the entire ball game. But when the Rams need a big bucket, there she is. Here's Glenn, pull up for the elbow. Got it, and hit the floor, no call.
By the way, that was only Honey Carr's 6th three-point attempt on the season. She's now made 5 of 6, though, so when she does shoot the three, she makes it. Rare to see from a center.
More versatile. Can hit those outside shots. Wants to go inside now. High Kumara open, cutting to the rim. Kick out instead to Vital. Kumara wants it inside. Vital keeps the dribble. Slips it back. Kumara with 6. Hands it back. Vital. Pull up, 15, rattles out, rebound, taken away by Glenn, almost traveled with it. Tatira up ahead, Turner, crossover, Phillips, fakes the shot, kicks it out. Tatira on the drive and kick. Glenn fakes the three, and now Rodriguez will motion everybody through and set up the offense. Anderson comes to collect. Pull up over Ledden. Missed the jumper. Turner over everybody for the rebound. And it goes out of bounds. She landed on Vital, who just sort of happened to be in the right place to knock it free.
Harvard having some offensive struggles here. Kind of continues the streak we were talking about. Yes, they're, of course, averaging about 71 points per game, but we talked about it earlier that their last few games have been in the 50 range. They haven't even got to 60, and seems like we're going to get to about 60 today, if we do at all for Harvard. Not necessarily that firepower that they've seen and wanted all year, but that does not mean also that they're not competing and they're not winning games as well.
Turner got blown up on the Carr screen. DeBras with it, searching a way to get it inside. Feeds Kumara, backing it on right. Turns, elevates, and scores. Oh, and Kumara with a big bucket. All of a sudden, URI back to a 2-possession game. Timeout, Harvard.
Yeah, I was going to say I would have been very surprised if Carrie Moore did not take a timeout here.
Rams have hit 3 of their 5 shots here to start the fourth. Crimson on the other end, just 1 for 5. And Carrie Moore wants to talk it over. It's a 5-point Harvard lead with 5:39 to go here in Cambridge. Honey Carr a year ago before losing to Thompson.
Jamie, I got some Harvard huddle notes
It has
anytime.
been a great run as of late, but Tammy Reese acknowledged, look, this is not those teams. They lost 4 key players after last season, and so this is a little bit of a rebuilding group, but they're playing Harvard down to the wire today.
Well, it's really hard when you lose your go-tos on scoring, rebounding, and pretty much all of the above. Tammy Reese, no stranger to that, though. When she came into this program, it was not much of one.
Corner 3 for Abigail Wright. Right place, right time.
Oh.
Third 3 of the year for the sophomore.
Oh, and she needed that. She's had 3 fouls in just a few minutes of play, so that's a big score for her and her team.
After some dagger threes earlier in this quarter from Carr and Phillips. Kumara looking to go to work on right inside. Tries to go up and under. Good stay-at-home defense by Wright that time. Numbers the other way. Kumara was slow to get up. Glenn gets it to Turner, and now Harvard will start to work the clock. Off the right screen, Turner, back, Rocco for 3, too strong. Kumara has it. Rams get a stop, now they need a bucket. DeBraz up top, Kumara. Carr wants to keep it moving. They find Franks. DeBraz stop and start with the dribble, looking for the reverse, count it, and the foul! Inez DeBraz found her seam to slip it up. DeBraz are going to have a chance to make it a 5-point game again at the line. Rhode Island making life tough for the Crimson here on the road. And DeBraz with a chance at the line when we come back here to Cambridge on ESPN. I'll let that last time out.
Tammy Reese sat down with her team and looked them all in the eye and said, listen, we've got it to a 6-point game. Now you have to defend and defend like your life depends on it. Turns right to Honey Carr and says, if you're going to run in transition, you got to run, you got to post up. Let them come W, and then we'll play off of it. So see if they don't run through Honey Carr over these next 4 minutes.
Now first it's DeBraz at the line with a chance to make it 5. The free throw is good. Remember, Rhode Island's had issues at the line all year long. That's their 4th make on 6 tries. They want to keep above that 60% mark. 0-3 when below. So an important free throw there. Rocco pops out, fires from distance, and hits. Second 3 of the day for Elena Rocco, and a timely one at that.
I was just going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. For Harvard, right now, you don't have any of the momentum. You need to take it back. That starts on defense, but that also means that you need to make shots on offense. Doesn't matter that you're winning or not.
Honey Carr going to work and almost taking out our camera person under the basket there. Fortunately, everyone coming out okay in that scramble. So Kayla got the headset messed up, but appears to be in good spirits. And Carr will get a couple free throws.
Good sportsmanship from Carr, too. Turned her head back, asked if Kayla was okay.
Foul goes against Elena Rodriguez. Second on the Crimson in the 4th. And Carr drains it. Take a look at the collision. Honey Carr coming into your living room or office or wherever you happen to be watching us this Saturday afternoon.
We appreciate you no matter where you are.
Carr, such a great story. Started her college career at San Diego, playing her final season here with URI, but she is the first female player internationally to go to the NBA Academy, not from Australia. She's from Punjab, India. First non-Australian at the NBA Global Academy as Turner comes up big again.
And Turner was quiet in this 4th quarter. She has 22 points, so she's not been quiet in the game, but 4th quarter, they had been limiting her, and she needs to just get a few baskets, get her confidence back up as well.
And Stars trying to come to life here in the key moments for their respective teams. Phillips has been the hot hand today with 15. Hands off to Kumara, got it back. Phillips feeds. Kumara was grabbed on a roll by Rocco. That's going to be the first on Rocco, the third team foul. Carr had just 2 points in the first half, now up to 7, and averaging 12 a game over the last 4. Inbound to Phillips, trying to shake loose. Rocco stays with her. Now Vital back on the floor. Carr trying to get free inside against Rodriguez. Pops out high to get it. Rodriguez surrounds her. The give to Phillips. 5 to shoot. Phillips back to Carr. Launches the 3. Comes up short. Rebound right back to her. Carr crashing to the rim. Missed it. And Glenn there for the rebound.
Oh.
And now Turner says, let's play the clock game.
It's a great play by URI. It's all about execution at this point in the game. You've got about 2 minutes left. Pretty much can't miss shots anymore if you're URI. You've now got enough of a deficit, 8 points right now. You really can't miss.
Got to get a stop here for the Rams. Glenn back to Rodriguez. Rocco finds Turner. Rodriguez with the ball screen. Turner switches back to the left hand. Rodriguez got it away in time. Missed the 3 though. And Vital there for the rebound. Turner picked the pocket and laid it in.
Oh, man. That is just the epitome of Harmony Turner. Now, of course, that's going the crowd to be a little louder. Gets a steal and then immediately scores, too. And, again, it's timely baskets for her as well. This is the best and most important part of the game. We're under 2 minutes now, and Turner just literally grabs it from URI and turns it into 2.
Now, these are the star-making moments that Harmony Turner has had this year. Going from very good player to great player. And Harmony Turner may have just put this one away for the Crimson. The lead back up to 10 with under 2 minutes to go. This is a very quiet December for the Crimson. They played just 3 games after playing 10 in the month of November, and all 3 are at home today. BU 2 weeks from today, and then they wrap up the year here at home against Delaware. That's a Monday afternoon start.
Yeah, of course, finals comes into play now. Of course, sometimes we forget this is student athletes. Student comes first. Right now, all of these players in pretty much any college or university taking their finals for the next few weeks. So that contributes, of course, to that December lull, you would call it. So again, that's December 21st game and then the 30th. Those are the only 2 after this one in December. And so sometimes that actually makes it a little harder for your team, because when you're so used to having game after game after game, you kind of get into a rhythm. You don't really need the time off. Harvard now is just going to have to kind of switch up how they've been practicing, how they've been doing their game planning, because they'll have more than 24 hours to prep for their next game.
And we talked to Carrie Moore about sort of how you fill the time when you only have 3 games in a month, obviously, the academics aside, because they take such a big precedent. He said, look, we play different types of games in practice, try to make it competitive for them. We give them a couple extra days off, do some team building activities. It all factors in. But they want to keep their winning ways going. Harvard trying to make it 10 out of their first 11 in the win column. DeBras running out of time, and there's no time to waste now for URI. Phillips the drive, the scoop, and the score. So they get a bucket back. DeBras pressuring Turner in the backcourt. They will get the foul. First on DeBras.
Yeah, look, Sophie Phillips has had a great day today. Even if URI doesn't win this game, it's a huge improvement for Sophie Phillips to have 17 points now. She's also 4 for 5 from 3. That is a ginormous number when on the season she's only been about 22% from 3 coming in.
Well, for URI, this game about more than just trying to get the win today, which they wanted to be competitive. They have been competitive throughout. Rams will have their eye towards the start of Atlantic 10 play coming up. Turner almost runs into her teammate right, dishes it off in the corner. Fired back up top. Rocco on the curl with 5 to shoot. Anderson running out of time. Anderson throws it at the rims. Got the bounce. Fight for the rebound. Kumara tripped up. foul on Glenn. That's going to be her second, I believe.
Missed opportunity for the Crimson there. Harmony Turner drew 3 players. They had 2 players on the rim wide open. And then Glenn completely wide open on the left side behind the 3-point line.
Here's a look at what URI has. Another Ivy League matchup coming up in less than a week, as they will head down to New Jersey to take on the Princeton Tigers. Then home games against St. Francis, and they open up A10 play just before the new year against St. Louis, who's one of the favorites in the A10 this year.
Some good tests on there for the Rams, as there always is in non-con. I think non-con is such an important part of your schedule because you get to play a lot of teams that you don't normally get to see.
And Rhode Island just coming back off of a trip to Cancun. They played 22nd ranked Iowa in that tournament. That was a 7-point game, so they're competitive there with the Hawkeyes. And then lost a heartbreaker to Idaho State to wrap up that weekend tournament. Here's another one of the metrics and sort of measures where Harvard might be sort of looking in the national landscape right now. Joel talked about top 40 net, top 40 RPI. They're 5th and getting first place votes in the College Madness mid-major top 25. They're also getting votes in the coaches poll. So all of that pointing to 9-1 start on the precipice of going 10-1. Harvard, if they can sort of just keep it moving in the right direction, could potentially be in line for that NCAA bid, regardless of whether or not they win the Ivy League. And we've seen the Ivy be a multi-bid league the last couple of years.
Well, yeah, when you've got teams like Princeton right now, they're sitting in second. They're 5-2, but that's a really talented squad. They've done really well in the Ivy League the last few years.
Columbia, again, that's another team that's been unbelievable lately.
Yep, absolutely.
They fought and earned their way to an at-large bid a couple years ago.
Also, it's the second time in the program's history they've started 9-1. And so for Harvard, you got to think you're off to this great start. It's just about consistency and making sure you continue what you're doing right.
Carr trying to muscle her way inside, has to kick it back out to DeBraz. The driving kick fumbled its way to Dutat. Her jumper's off the mark, rebounded by Anderson. And Carrie Moore wants a timeout here. So maybe Harvard just wanting to take care of the basketball here over the final few seconds. Again, the shooting numbers, maybe not quite as lofty as they were early in the season, but we talked about URI, very good defensive team. So they held Harvard in check, but the Rams also didn't do quite enough of their own on the offensive end to be able to get over the top in the end.
Well, the real big thing for Rhode Island was how many turnovers they had in that first half especially. You cannot have 11 turnovers in the first half and expect to be really close, and yet they were within reach at halftime. And so that kind of shows Harvard obviously not firing on all cylinders like they're used to. Again, URI playing some really great defense. You don't keep a good team to 56 points if you're not playing great defense. But it was about URI making their own mistakes. And I think that this team can be very good as long as they are eliminating their own mistakes. And again, picking their shots too. I mentioned it at the start. Quality over quantity. Cannot just be throwing shots up there, or they've had multiple shot clock violations today. That is not going to be able to help you win, of course.
21 turnovers, right on the average for the season as well for the Harvard defense. And points off turnovers, a huge difference maker in this one. 22-9 edge for the Crimson. That's more than the difference in the ballgame. We saw Rhode Island, how they wanted to play at the start, right? They won the first 5 minutes, 7-2. And Harvard's offense sort of kind of woke up. Turner got it going, and that was really the difference in the ball game today. Is Harvard had a Harmony Turner, Rhode Island didn't.
Well, and that was what was missing last year. You talked about it. Harmony Turner was not in the game last year, and URI managed to squeak that one out, winning by 3. Obviously, also URI has lost 4 of their stars and 4 of their go-tos and 4 of their scorers as well.
This one tipped out of bounds by Ayanna Franks. And this is a situation where normally you might expect to see Rhode Island foul. They've only got 2 team fouls, 30 seconds left. So if they are going to try to put Harvard at the line, they're going to have to commit a lot of fouls in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Lob inbound to Rodriguez. Kumara grabs. So that is the third. Another second and a half comes off the clock.
Good to see Kumar back out there as well. She was the one who took the hard fall to the floor, so great to see her back out so quick.
Kumar actually now up to 4 fouls, so next one will be the end of the day for her. Quick handoff back to Turner. Carr with the grab. Well, that's 4 team fouls now on the Rams. Next one will put the Crimson at the line. Only the second on Carr. Turner again inbound. Rodriguez wants the lob, gets it. Kumara with the grab, fouls out. Rodriguez will go to the line. Harvard coming into the day 8th nationally as a team shooting free throws over 80% from the line. And if you're going to be a team that closes out these close games, you got to hit free throws.
Yeah, sometimes it's all about the basics. I mean, we've talked a lot about that today, but sometimes it becomes a very simple game. Free throws are something that they're not free points, but there's a reason there's free in the name. You should be making those.
Phillips is going to come back onto the floor along with Katie Ledden, so Rams getting some shooters out there. A little bit of a below average day for the Crimson, just 5 of 8. Rodriguez taking her first of the day. She is 74% from the line on the season. Pretty similar stat line to what she did last year against Rhode Island. 10 points now to go along with 5 rebounds, 2 steals, a block. Tammy Reese will take another timeout here. The lead back up to 10. Rodriguez knocking down both free throws. Talked about Harvard trying to take care of business in the Ivy League. They are picked 3rd, just behind Princeton and Columbia. Sort of feels like it has been a 3-team race the last couple of years, and it looks to be a 3-team race again to the top this year. Obviously, Harvard right now, through the non-conference, appears to have a leg up, but you never know what happens in Ivy League play until all those teams start to mix it up.
Well, exactly. I mean, you can talk all you want about non-conference play, and everything looks great, but Ivy League play is where it matters and where everything matters. That's where points count. That's where games matter so much more. Non-conference, when Ivy League comes around, basically just feels like practice for the Ivy League, especially when you've got teams like Princeton and Columbia. You've got to make sure that you are performing your best when Ivy League time comes around.
Rodriguez got a piece of it. Ball knocked out of bounds by Ledden. So it's going to be Harvard ball with 21 seconds to go. We'll see if URI continues to choose to foul here. Harvard's going to find out very early on in Ivy League play, too, sort of where they actually sit. They have 3 of the first 4 Ivy League games on the road, Yale, Princeton, and Penn, with only a home game against Brown sandwiched in. Lob to Turner in the backcourt. She races away from Dutot. Takes a bump from DeBraz. No call. Now a reach in. No call. Now the foul from DeBraz. And Turner will get a chance to pad her line at the free throw line. Just 2 double-figure scores today for Harvard. Rodriguez just getting there off the free throws last time. But again, talked about how individually Harmony Turner impacts so many facets of the game for Harvard, and it is extremely evident with how she scored the ball today.
Yeah, I mean, she's 25 points right now. Of course, she's at the line, so could make it even more than that, but she adds a couple rebounds. She's got 4 steals on the day as well, and only 1 turnover. I think that's huge, too, because if you are a player who is scoring as much as she is but also turning the ball over a lot, that does not impact your team positively.
Jerry Moore said she wanted to focus on the plus-minus as Carr gets one final shot away with Turner. At the last stretch, Turner was sitting at a plus 10. She had been a plus 16 at halftime. She was a huge plus all day long for the Crimson, and they improved to 10-1 with a 60-48 win over Rhode Island today.
It might not have been the most convincing win, but it's still a win nonetheless, and it goes in the right column if you're carrying more, and so you're going to have a lot to work on and a lot that you want to improve on, but I think that's honestly a great place for you to be.